Did you turn it on? Yeah, Mark, I turned it on. Oh, so I'm live? Yeah, dude, you are absolutely live. You're good to go. If you want to do the intro music, whatever it is you want to do, feel free. Bum bum ba ba na 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 bum bum ba na na bum bum ba na 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 na. Oh, hey, look, it's Freddie from Fat Ink, Ohio. He does good tattoos, guys. Hey, show him your hand. What? Oh, right here. Boom. Freddie, Fat Ink, Ohio did that. Yeah. We're gonna be sponsored by Tattoo Shop. That's what all the cool people do. So that's what we're doing. So if you need tattoos and you're in the northeastern Ohio, Cleveland, Moraine area, hit up Freddie on Instagram. He'll take care of you. Does great work. Super cool guy. Yeah. And I might be taller than Freddie. Dude, you're not taller than Freddie. Like that's actually, that might just be rude to say you're taller than Freddie. You're valid point. Very, very valid point. Looks like your friend Joe wants to join us. That's right. Oh, look at that. Joe's in here quick. Oh yeah. Hey Joe. Yeah. You know we're gonna join up with Freddie one day and we're gonna do some whatnot.
Whatnot. Okay.
Whatnot. It's not some fancy type of cannabis all the kids are smoking. No, that's where you sell stuff on the line. Oh. It's online. It's an app. Like, why are you talking like an old white guy? Oh, really? That's coming from you, huh? Okay, that's not. That's really totally unnecessary.
He will officially be old in about another 24 years, or 25.
Yeah, I mean, I think, man,
25.
Early 40s ain't old no more. Like, yeah, dude, early 40s ain't that old. Me and your sister were just talking. Like, I was saying, I'm gonna start using like my grandma's excuses for why I can't go do shit. Like, I can't see in the dark, so I can't go there. I know I already had the building excuse if I'm asleep at 6:30, but I got thinking about it. You know how old? Like early elementary school. So I'm like 7 years old. I'm like second grade, and my grandma was pulling that shit out of. I can't see in the dark, so we can't go nowhere. Oh, my grandma would have been like 42 years old, talking that kind of mess.
Damn, that's her. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, because
my grandma was super young when she had my mom. She's like 14, and my mom was like 21 when I was born. Yeah. Freddie wants to know, what do you think the best card we could pull out of a WWE hobby box? So Freddie sells sports cards on Whatnot. Freddie, drop your Whatnot in the chat so you can see it live on Instagram. Man, I don't know, because they do some of those.
Ooh.
They'll do some of those cards that have like parts of the canvas on the card from like major events, and some of those things will be signed. I think those are really cool, and I think those would go for a good amount of money, and people really like to have that. Wait, so you're saying it's part of the canvas? Yeah, they do it with UFC cards too.
I would say it's the best card to have. It's probably hard to get, but if you got the early 1993 WWF cards still in condition, now that would go for some money.
Oh, so you're going old school with it. Some old shit.
I'm thinking about it. You said what car would go the best. And I'm just saying, you got the early 1993 or 94, whichever one it was, between 92 and 94. If you got one with the WWF logo on it, with maybe the Undertaker, Brett, and the Ring Master, those would be worth some money, especially if you got the Ring Master and the Undertaker. Those would go for money.
Old school ones. All right, Freddie is Gordito Soy 89 and Whatnot. They're on Instagram. You're seeing that live in the chat. If you're YouTube or Spotify, man, I'll pop it up somewhere, maybe here. Maybe it'll be like right here. You can see it.
Yeah.
Joe, you know what? I actually have. Hold on. Please hold. Here, stare at Mark for a second.
All right. Mark. Yeah, I know. He gone up in outer space.
I'm back. See how fast that shit was?
That was fast.
1990
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. See?
God, my eyeballs are old. Another 1990.
There you go. See now, I would say the one with the belt probably worth more money, but if you had the one where I'm doing the leg drop with Andre, that'd be it.
Yeah, that probably do. I bet they have like legends like things in the cards for old school shit. We're definitely 100% gonna talk about pro wrestling.
Yeah.
But man, we got to talk about the United Healthcare CEO thing.
Oh.
Tons of conspiracy theories. As you know, your sister loves a good conspiracy theory, but this is my question about this entire thing, because I understand as a culture we will meme our way out of a lot of shit. There are memes. Why does it seem like people are okay with the CEO being murdered? Like, I see so many memes making fun of it, and people are like, well, this is what you get for denying claims. And I actually have a friend of mine, a guy I've known for 20 years. He used to train with me whenever I fought. Very much under the adage of like, a health insurance CEO is someone evil. And basically, like, he came off like he thought this dude like kind of deserved it for like having an AI deny claims and all these things this guy's accused of. But I'm like, he's a CEO. Well, his job is to make sure this corporation makes money and shareholders make money. He just does his job.
I would say this. I don't know if it happened at the right time frame, but from what I heard, that's when the whole anesthesia got like a whole time, how long you could be under anesthesia. And that's when all the healthcare insurance went on rampage, because let's just say you need anesthesia for a surgery, whatever. And that insurance company right there, where the CEO got killed, they made it so that you get a certain amount of anesthesia. So they pay for it, and then the rest you will have to pay for it out of your own pocket. That's why everybody's saying they glad he got killed.
So like that logic doesn't make any sense. And I was reminded of Triple H's promo to Seth Rollins. That if you're a millionaire, you're evil. If you're a billionaire, you're the Antichrist. Why? I don't understand the idea that so many people have that being in charge of a corporation is somehow makes you a bad person, or corporate America is somehow a bad thing. I don't understand. I just don't follow the thought process. Large corporations in America employ tens of thousands of people, and by them employing those tens of thousands of people, those people are able to provide for their families.
Yeah.
How is that a bad thing? And, well, you know what? How does anyone see that as bad?
Let's just put it like this. You could go to Canada or even overseas where the healthcare insurance are like free of charge. You ain't got to pay a ton of money. Yeah. And that's glorious USA. You could get hurt, break your arm, whatever. That's like what? We'll just say roughly, we'll just say 5,000 right there. And your insurance will take care of 3,000 of it.
Yeah.
So you got to pay the other 2.
Yeah.
When other places, you could probably just say, oh, here's $1 for what I owe, and your insurance done paid that $4,999 of it.
So I get where people look at it in that kind of perspective. I can understand where you would look at it that way. But here's the thing. If like there's free healthcare in America. It exists. A lot of people that I know have it. It's not always, but for a very long time it's been a thing. I was a welfare baby. I grew up in Section 8 housing. My mom was disabled. My dad was a felon. So we had a medical card. I had free health care as a kid. Didn't have that luxury as an adult. But a lot of people have that. But also, these other countries that have this, if it's that vital, how come you don't see a mass exodus of people going to Canada and living there because they're becoming citizens? It's an option.
Exactly.
But also, if we got rid of the health insurance system and the healthcare industry as we know it in America, well, how many Americans lose their jobs then? If tomorrow they flip the switch and they said, okay, no one needs health insurance any longer, the United States government's going to take care of that because, hey, you know what? Elon Musk and this whole Doge thing is going to free up a lot of capital. A lot of taxpayer money is going to get freed up, and everyone in America is going to have totally covered 100% health insurance. You go to the doctor, get everything fixed. Nobody needs health insurance. Boom, just like that. Tons of people lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Do we want that? Well, I don't think we want that.
We want that.
And then here's my other question for you, Joe. Think about all the people that you know. All the people you know.
Okay.
If I were to offer any one of them a job that pays $2 million a year, and all they have to do is deny insurance claims, how many people would turn that job down? Do you know a single person who turns that job down?
Whew. 2 million? Probably not.
I'll tell you right now, I know people who are up in arms complaining about health care, complaining about denied claims, who've actually never been in the situation of having a claim denied, who are out here on social media, standing on their soapbox, talking about CEOs are evil and healthcare is evil, who take a lot of pride in charging me an extra 50 cents for my barbecue sauce at Burger King. They take a lot of pride in doing that aspect of their job, but don't think somebody should deny claims that don't qualify, but would absolutely take that CEO job or whatever the job, because the CEO doesn't deny claims. That's not what a CEO does. But they would 100% take a job denying claims people for a fat paycheck, and they know they would, but they're trying to act holier than thou, and CEOs are evil. They know they would do it. My buddy, who was so CEOs are evil and healthcare should be free, would absolutely take the job.
I would
Wouldn't even ask.
I would say this. Where I work at, I hear about claims every day. And let me tell you, woof, that's a killer. I feel bad for some people because they be waiting.
It sucks for them. Absolutely. But I don't think there's probably very many. I don't work in that industry, but there's always a process. There's always boxes to be checked for everything. Do I think no one should have to worry about medical bills? Sure, that sounds great. Like that, literally, like the idea that every American could have totally free health care, free prescriptions, never have to work. That sounds fantastic. I love the idea. I personally think it's absolutely fantastic. And if it could happen, that'd be great. I have never, ever in my life met a medical professional, doctor, nurse, surgeon, triage nurse, phlebotomist, x-ray tech. I never met one of them saying they would do that work for free. Never met one of them who was like, you know what? I don't need a house. I have never seen a doctor driving a beater vehicle because they're doing work for free. I grew up living in Section 8 housing. You know who didn't live there? Doctors, nurses, phlebotomists, and x-ray techs. They didn't live in the Section 8 housing I lived in. No, why? Because they wanted to make money. So everyone can act holier than thou. Everyone can say all this nonsense. But everyone up on that soapbox, all of y'all are full of shit. All of y'all would take the job denying claims for $2 million a year. So you're not as ethical as you think you are. I've said my piece.
Okay.
It ain't ever good when somebody gets murdered. Like, that's not good. It's bad. It's a bad thing.
I can say this. There was a time when I was at Target. Yes, Target. We had insurance with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. I remember that. I was on there. And then they took it away. Because they said in order for me to qualify for that insurance, had to make a certain amount of hours. Like over, what was it? Over 36.5, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Whenever Obamacare rolled out, and if you work so many hours, your company had to provide you a certain amount of care.
Yeah. And then when it came for that time, out of all the people, they got me at 36.4. I'm like, so what's going to happen? Like, well, you got to go to the welfare and sign up for it. I'm like, seriously? Like, yeah, seriously. I'm like, they ain't going to accept me. I got a job. I make too much. They said, as of right now, you got to get medical and they will cover it. I'm like, you sure about this? Now I'm like, I thought that was a joke, but lo and behold, I was on it.
So, and that's one of those great things that exist in America, right? We have options. There's things you can do.
Yeah, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, it was like a good feeling knowing that I went from paying like $60 for a prescription to like just getting it for free. Like, I like that saved a lot of money right there. I ain't gonna lie, that helped me out a bit.
Is my mic today good? Can you hear me fine?
I hear you fine.
Right. I my other mics, I broke it. Get a replacement's coming, but it ain't here. It won't be here till like Tuesday.
No, okay. Yeah.
I mean, that was a great feeling. It's weird. Me and my wife, me and your sister, we've been talking about this since this whole story. We talk about like it's weird people's like stance on things, and it's weird that like people don't understand. We have options. Like there's things that we can do in this country, and no, you're not held to anything.
Mm-hmm. But I can't say if they do go for insurance, that Buckeye, or depending on what city and state you're in, they do got some that you can pay like that you sign up for. You can only pay like what $10 to see a doctor, or get like $5 to get your prescription. Now those are good. They work out great too. Just saying.
Yeah. See, there's tons of things people can do.
Mm-hmm. But I could say the worst thing in the world is dental insurance. That is a killer.
You know what? Here's something I don't understand about insurance. Mm-hmm. How's dental, medical, and vision separate things? Aren't my teeth part of my health care?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's break it.
I need healthy vision.
Okay, so let's from what I was told, let's break it down to you. So, with your health insurance, you can see a particular doctor. With your hearing and your teeth, those take a special doctor that you can only see for a special reason. So that's why they broke it down into them 3 sections. So arm, legs, whatever, you can go see a doctor for. But your mouth, you gotta go see a dentist, which is a separate part of your body.
How come the vet can do everything? The vet can do everything. So
I'm just breaking it down.
The vet can do everything, Joe.
I'm just breaking it down to you how I found out about it. And when you go to an eye doctor, it's not like, hey, you can go see a regular doctor and just get the eye checked. You gotta see a certain doctor with a certain degree, just like you gotta see a dentist with a certain degree. Man. That's why they broke it up into 3 categories.
All I'm saying is the vet can do it all.
And all I'm saying is, I ain't got vision on my plan yet, so I'm hoping that I got time because he's seeing good right now. Let's
break into a little bit of wrestling. We covered current events. That's That's a good way to start a Sunday. We covered some card events.
I got something to say.
Oh, you got something? Joe's got something to say.
I got something to say. Okay. Now,
Joe's got something to say to you.
Now, this week, I watched the story behind the Crow Sting on YouTube, the WWE Vault.
Yeah.
Now, there's some things in there I gotta say that kind of helped out the future of wrestling industry right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What happened in the story of Crow Sting that you think is beneficial overall? Now, I will tell you, this is just my little piece of the Crow Sting story. The evolution of Crow Sting was one of my favorite things in pro wrestling. I had 2 years running back to back where I was Crow Sting for Halloween. Tons of great moments of Crow Sting that I really enjoyed as they happened, even looking back on them. But what to you really stood out that you thought was great?
Here we go. I'm gonna say this: Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, they may have made the jumping the barrier a thing because now people do that. But I would say Sting would be the first person that went through the crowd that I could think of. Every single crowd, not just one area. He went through all areas of that arena, wherever they at. Camera shot, back shot, whatever. He went through every single section in that crowd. Second, I would say Sting would be the very first person to announce himself as a free agent to go anywhere he wanted to.
Man, he did. He said, one thing about the Stinger is that nothing's for sure.
And he made himself a free agent. And lastly, one thing I can't say, a lot of people complain about people not wrestling, not doing anything these days. But here we go. From that end of summer of 96 all the way to the close to Christmas to 97, Sting didn't wrestle at all. He didn't have one match at all. He may have interfered, attacked, but he went for a whole year, didn't say shit, didn't fight nobody. He was still under contract, and people complain today about people not wrestling, only showing up, but he did it a whole year.
So there's been times where I've taken a lot of heat about kind of my opinion of Sting overall. And people take it that sometimes I shit on Sting, and I don't mean it that way. I was a fan of Surfer Sting. I was a fan of Crow Sting. But I say the best thing Sting ever did for his career was shut up and stop wrestling. Sting was never a fantastic promo coming up as Surfer Sting. I mean, granted, it was the era. It was the area that he was in. That they didn't have anybody who could put together a great promo for him. But he really wasn't like... I mean, Sting now, whenever we look back at him with some rose-colored glasses, but, he was different in the WCW era, so he stood out. Was he Bret Hart? I don't know that he was. It doesn't mean that I don't like Sting, but it's like the best thing he did was he stopped talking, stopped wrestling, and became bigger than he had ever been before.
And I was just looking at it, I watched it like a whole year.
Does that mean it's not about the matches, Joe? Let's have that conversation. Does that mean that being a star in pro wrestling, like Undertaker always said, it's not about how many 5-star matches you have, it's about the character. Does the character carry more weight than the in-ring ability? I guess Crow Sting would kind of tell us yes. Yes, it does.
I mean, the Crow Sting, and I watched it for good 2 hours and a half, y'all. If y'all do want to watch it, it's 2 hours long. And
it's a little lengthy.
Yeah, but they broke it down good. But I'll say this: the character, he did nothing. He sat back, looked down, and this flew from the sky, or dropped down from the ceiling, then flew up from the ceiling, and that was pretty cool. And one more thing I found out in that video when I was watching it. I would say that WCW were the first ones to do the little camera shot from the angle, not the cameraman holding it, but boom, the camera shot, how you saw the wrestlers colliding with each other. When they had the little DDP versus Crush. Yeah. They showed that little camera shot. With the
there was
angle.
a lot that WCW did in that era that was, I'll say, borrowed from ECW, because ECW had to do a bit of they had to do some stylistic things with their camera work because they didn't have the budget to do crazy over-the-top stuff. So a lot of those single camera shots of going to the back, where Bischoff says that they took that from whatever TV show or whatever, I don't think that's true. I think they took that directly from ECW. Paul may have stolen it from a TV show, but I don't believe WCW was looking for inspiration in all these different places like Paul Heyman was.
Yeah. All in all, I would say after watching that Crow Sting documentary, he made I would say that kind of influenced the Lone Wolf of AJ Styles when he was trying to find a new character for himself that helped him out. I would say it also helped out some others, like being the free agent, like John Cena saying he's a free agent now, I can go anywhere. That helped out as well. Oh, and also, y'all can call me crazy for saying this too, but as I watching some of that, I noticed the Macho Man, his interior that he wore, and then I started thinking about it. I could say that maybe Seth got some of his ideas from the Macho Man, because the Macho Man always
very flashy guy,
coming out funky, but he has some good clothing ideas, and I think that's where Seth kind of got some of his new visionary from. That's just my opinion, though.
Certainly a possibility, right? One of the things about Macho Man that I've seen come up before that I thought was kind of crazy was that he, at one point in time, he had his bandana with lightning bolts lined up with the sunglasses he had. He lined it all up.
Yeah, I saw that.
Macho was a trendsetter in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
so let me ask you this question. So you finally watched the story of Crow Sting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've said before that I think Crow Sting is actually truly the story of the NWO. The Vigilante Sting is actually the thing that actually made the NWO work. And you look at the 83 weeks, the time frame of the 83 weeks kind of kicks off with Crow Sting and drops off whenever Sting joins Wolfpack.
Okay, yeah, you said that part in there.
You got to do the math. You line up the dates. Basically, the Crow Sting story is what carried the 83 weeks of success for WCW. It's not the NWO. Everybody says it's the NWO. I totally disagree. I think the story that drove the ratings was Vigilante Sting. And once that fell off the rails, you were trying to have the NWO story carry on, and that wasn't the thing people were actually interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I always say a heel makes your best champion? Not the chase. It's the pursuit of the title, right? So whenever Hogan was champ and Sting was chasing him down, that's what people were invested in. Then Bischoff couldn't figure out how to book Bret Hart in 97. Then in 98, Sting joins the NWO. Something that made 0 sense.
I could say this.
I do agree. We got Panther live on Instagram in our comments. Without the NWO, there's no Bullet Club. Without the NWO, yeah, we wouldn't have got the Bullet Club. But who's the more important faction? NWO or Bullet Club? Now, I know NWO influenced Bullet Club, and so without them, yeah. But let's separate that. Let's take that connection point away from the dots. NWO or Bullet Club? Who had the greater impact on the industry?
Okay. I can say this. If you look at both of them, put them side to side, they all start off small, but then they just started grabbing more and more people. Like they both, well, I'll say Bullet Club had more people than NWO in the faction. But I would say Bullet Club is more better than NWO. Because they actually did fight more than just talk.
So Panther says Bullet Club's had more. Everyone, Bullet Club stuff somehow in some way. AJ Styles, Kenny era was impactful as hell. So, man, we're in agreement right now, universally, that I think Bullet Club impacted the business far more positively than the NWO did. Here's why. Without the Bullet Club, you don't get the Elite. Without the Elite, you do not get Cody Rhodes' run in Ring of Honor and New Japan. Without Cody and the Elite, you do not get AEW. Without AEW, WWE never gets better. They never get better. You know, I put that out there. You know, we're in the Fantasy Faction group chat, and I put this topic out there just now. And we got the Victorious One podcast says NWO.
Hey, it's just the way you look at it. You can say NWO because, well, I wouldn't say they are like the founding members of a faction group, but they are one that made join a faction cool. Make you want to be a part of it.
I mean, the NWO was cool as hell. Absolutely cool as hell. No doubt about it. Yeah, so they use without the NWO, you wouldn't have Bullet Club. That's true. We agree. We agree on that. Mm-hmm. But man, Panther, we wouldn't have gotten Finn. We wouldn't have gotten Prince Devin. We wouldn't have gotten Tama Tonga. We wouldn't have gotten Tongaloa. No Machine Gun Carl Anderson. No Young Bucks. Kenny was there, but man, Kenny did not become the best bout machine until Bullet Club.
I say this. AJ Styles really didn't need the Bullet Club. He was a star by himself.
Yes. But man, he became so cool with Bullet Club.
Yeah, I know.
He acquired a cool factor whenever he joined Bullet Club that I don't think he had in TNA. I will say I wasn't following TNA at that time frame to know really where he was at.
Oh, he was like when he joined the Bullet Club. That's when he became his new Lone Wolf character, the Outsider, and that kind of went over into the Bullet Club when I was on the top of his career.
We got another comment that Bullet Club was just a ripoff of Aces and Eights. Wow, that came from Fantasy Faction.
That's funny. Hold up. That would be like saying Evolution is just a ripoff of the Four Horsemen. That's I know it is, but at least Evolution was better.
That's kind of right.
But Evolution was way better than Aces and Eights. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
I mean, yeah. I did not follow the Aces and Eights story. Oh wait, Panther says it started the same year. Bullet Club and Aces and Eights started the same year.
Oh yeah. They was.
So Bullet Club can't be a ripoff of Aces and Eights then, right?
Hold on, let's see. Ace was like early, somewhere like 2010, 12 in that time. Yeah, you're right. 13, this is right. Somewhere, yeah.
That's something I didn't know. I hit him with that. Bit of knowledge, Panther. Thank you. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think you throw a lot of things in there, pal. I think Bullet Club happened at a great time to carry over into pop culture, equally as well as the NWO. People are thinking, well, 20 years later, you still see NWO shirts. That's true. You do, but they're on guys in their 40s. You know what I mean? It's nostalgia. Bullet Club sold out at Hot Topic in 2017.
I know. They only had small shirts at the time when they went in there to get one. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, whenever they had them, and I went straight to the Hot Topic and got me some Bullet Club shirts.
Yeah, they always sold out.
Ace and Eight started showing teasers in 2012, but never took off till 2013.
See, I knew it around 2012. I knew it around that time frame.
And Victoria's One podcast thought Bullet Club was actually before Aces and Eights. So
No.
I think Panther is right. I believe Panther over the Victoria's One podcast. Man, I just think
Bullet Club came way after.
I don't think DX was as influential as we give them credit for. I think they got hot whenever everyone was getting hot in WWE, but I think we just give them a bit more credit than what's necessary. But I would also argue maybe at times they were a bit more impactful than NWO, really. Like, NWO cannibalized itself. Like, that's the hard thing with the faction and the story, that those involved, I think, kind of believe they were those guys.
Yeah.
And I think it was detrimental to everything. And I don't think Bullet Club still exists. It's still going. Has had more longevity than the NWO, and I think a greater impact on the industry overall. So that's just me. What do I know? I'm just some bitch.
I just got one thing to say.
What you got?
Who owned the NWO theme song since they did rip it off and just made it into a good melody tune? Who owns the right to that song?
To the NWO music? WWE's got it. I mean, they've used it so many times and stuff. It's in WWE 2K. And you know what? I'm sorry, but I think the Bullet Club 2016 theme is better than the NWO theme. I think Bullet Club's 2016 theme is possibly the best entrance music in pro wrestling history. It's up there with Randy Orton.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that being up there.
Yeah, man, it was just good. Anywho. Let's talk about we got more comments coming in. The Victorious One podcast looked it up. Ace and Eight started in 2012. Bullet Club was 2013. Luke Gallows was in the original Aces and Eights.
He was.
We got Nick coming in. He says NWO storyline was an idea created by WCW executive Eric Bischoff, whose inspiration for the angle came after attending a New Japan show at the Tokyo Dome. The show was headlined by New Japan versus UWF match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. New Japan's Hashimoto defeated Takada. Bischoff wanted to do an invasion type angle. Okay, he gave us a story. I know the story.
Yeah, I know that story too.
Yeah. I don't know. I will. That's a hill I'll die on. I will die on Bullet Club. More positive impact on pro wrestling than the NWO. I understand One doesn't exist without the other. Totally get it. Doesn't change how I feel. It just doesn't change how I feel.
There you go. It will never change. So don't try it, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, y'all can try. I'm open to having the conversation. But I'm always interested in everyone's opinion. I like hearing how people feel. I like having the conversation.
There you go.
I'm not afraid to hear how people feel. I just doesn't mean it doesn't mean you're gonna change my opinion. But I'll listen to yours. No problem at all. Joe, did you watch NXT last night?
I did not watch it last night.
Did you catch up on it this morning?
I did not. No, I did not catch up on it. What I missed?
I don't know, man. I watched it. I'd be totally honest with you. I didn't pay a whole hell of a lot of attention to the stories unfolding. I just enjoyed some of the matches. I thought the men's Iron Survivor was pretty cool. It has a cool concept for a match. They really put it together well. But let's hit rewind.
All right.
Let's go back. Let's talk Dynamite. Our friends over at Rate My Wrestling gave Dynamite a 79.
Okay.
It's a good wrestling. Crowd was in good spirits. Great matches. Yeah, Panther says the Iron Survivor match was great, especially the women's match. Man, I thought Dynamite was a great show. We had Shelton Benjamin versus Kyle Fletcher kicking off for the Men's Blue League. You had Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. You had Pac versus Jay White. Swerve versus Max Caster. I thought Dynamite was a really good show. I thought starting off with Shelton Benjamin versus Kyle Fletcher was a great way to start off the show. I thought that match was really good, even though Kyle Fletcher didn't look profoundly strong in the matchup, even though he pulled off the victory.
It was good. I would say that match, it was good. I thought it was going to have a little bit more hype to it. Like, it'll be more like there's more fire to it. Like, you want to see two really go at it. Like, them two, Shelton
looked really strong. Like,
Yeah.
Shelton looked really strong.
Yeah. Shelton, like the strong. I thought Shelton was going to win because he had that match going all by himself. Then you see Kyle come in here and there, but it was like Shelton was taking all holding the match together while Kyle was trying to get himself together. But I can't say they both pulled off a good match, even though the number one rule by Eddie Guerrero, you gotta cheat to win.
Yeah. So, Panther brings up a great point. Dynamite was slept on this week. And, we have our official ratings partner is Rate My Wrestling on Instagram. They handle our overall, the ratings that we share. Doesn't mean that's what all of us rate them as. But anyone who doesn't remember, they rated Raw a 91. And they gave Dynamite overall a 74. I don't know that I think Raw was that much better than Dynamite. Just my opinion. But lately, I've been really, really partial to the in-ring action on a show. I didn't tune in to NXT's weekly show this week. Did you watch NXT's weekly show Tuesday night? We didn't really talk about that on Wednesday.
Unfortunately, I don't get CW, y'all, so I can't watch NXT, y'all.
So NXT's weekly show, which was the lowest rated from viewership since going to CW. Wrestling gave that a 68 and gave Dynamite overall 79.
No, counter. By the mic. Put it on counter by the table, girl.
No.
Right.
I think Dynamite was really good. I have two overall complaints about Dynamite. but I'm okay with one of them. First complaint I throw is the Battle Royal. Having it end with Adam Cole and oh my God, why is his name escaping me at the moment?
You need
Kyle O'Reilly.
Kyle O'Reilly. I'm about to say.
And it was predictable, right?
Okay, let's put it this way. That would be like saying, let's just say, Triple H has a belt, and the winner of the tournament, Battle Royal tournament, would be the person to fight him at whatever pay-per-view. Now, you put 20 people in there. Who you think the main two would be at the final if you had to pick two people?
Ron Austin.
They would go with Randy and Cena.
Yeah, Randy Cena. So here's my thing. So like the winner of that Battle Royal, I take it, everyone's shitting on Dynamite. Oh, there were so many people. They could have done something else. This is so predictable. Who didn't see this coming? Sometimes pro wrestling is predictable. It's okay. These same people who say that the winners of that Battle Royal was so predictable and that was bad are the same people who get mad when a random match is put together. Like, you either want a story that's predictable or randomness. Like, well, what is it some people want? Like, I get that it was predictable, a little annoying because you could have swerved us, but you knew where that story is progressing. No one was mad that we got Bloodline War Games, right? We all knew we were getting Bloodline War Games back in May.
But I don't think they knew Punk would be the fifth member. That was a swerve of it.
Well, you know what, though? We all spitballed that idea out there. We all said, Punk's the Paul Heyman guy. Paul Heyman could bring in Punk. Paul Heyman could bring in Brock. We all just thought that they were making Seth too obvious. But sometimes wrestling's predictable. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
I wasn't mad about that. I was actually okay. I was really kind of okay. I didn't think it was like super exciting because we knew that's where we were going. But I was okay with it. We had to create a story to keep the story going. Cool. Here's what I wasn't okay with. Signs of distension in the Hurt business, Hurt Syndicate already from Shelton losing. They shouldn't have any arguments. We're not even 2 months into the Hurt Syndicate. They shouldn't be mad at Shelton for losing a match. That's what they all do. There shouldn't have been any conflict. No conflict between these guys because we shouldn't even tease the idea of breaking these guys up ever. They could bring in new people, kick people out. The unit, Hurt Syndicate, needs to be a unit for years.
I got to watch that both, man. That's what I do on a weekly basis. I
got to do it's best to watch it as a fan, not an analyst. Oh, man, I lean more towards trying to watch as a fan as I'm watching it for the first time. As I look back on things, I try to break it down a little bit more and kind of analyze and pick things apart. But as I'm watching it, I just try to watch it and just enjoy what I'm being shown. That's why I avoid spoilers. If I don't watch a show live when it's happening, I try not to know anything whenever I go into watching it the following morning because I want to watch it with a fresh pair of eyes. I want to take it in like I was supposed to take it in. But yeah, I think Hurt Syndicate needs to be a unit, a core unit for years. Like how we talk about the Bullet Club being around for 11 years. And members change, leadership changes, but the unit itself has existed for 11 years. The Hurt Syndicate should be kind of the same. I would like to see the Hurt Syndicate have a multi-year run as a group. And I think MVP, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin should be the three who are always there. You can bring other people in. That's fine. It can grow. You can kick people out, trade people off. But that core three has to last for quite some time before we get Shelton Benjamin versus Bobby Lashley. And when we do that, It has to be special. It has to matter. It has to be of the utmost importance of everything.
Mm.
Those guys one can be world champ and lose it. The other can be world champ and lose it. And then, at some point in time, you break them up. But you can't break them up inside of a year. You can't break them up inside of 2 years. Keep them together for years. So that way, whenever you do have this match, everyone cares about it. It matters to everyone watching the show. People will tune in because Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley have broken up, and now they're fighting for the world title. That should matter. That should be treated like it's something special.
I'll go with that.
Just my opinion.
I'll go with that.
How do we feel about Ray Phoenix's comments? Ooh.
Oh.
So-
I can say this.
Go ahead, Joe. How you feel about Ray Phoenix's comments?
I thought about that today. I think it's like this. You wanna go somewhere where you know you can be treated properly. You want to be happy at your job. That's like saying, "Hey, I worked at Target, yes," and then, booyah,
Worked there with Lorenzo Hunt.
I worked there with him. I remember working there too, helping him load the truck. But that'd be like me getting a job at Walmart, paying me extra money, giving me a good amount of hours, not losing everything. But then, Wally World, it just backfires in my face. They kind of betray me. They kind of say, like, we like you, we want to move you up in the world, but you're just not it. You're not it. So, you try to put your proper 2-week notice in, but then they're like, nah, you're under contract. So we get to keep you. You signed the contract. We don't do 2-week notice here. We do a contract. So you gotta wait till your contract fulfilled. So you gotta look at it like this. You went somewhere where you felt like you was gonna be appreciated more, be happier, but then it just stabs you in the back. I understand money. We all want money. We all want a good, decent job, but then you should just stay with the core where you was at. You might not be making a lot of money, but you were treated fair with open arms. So now it's like you gotta sit back and relax and just wait till that contract is up. That's about it.
So I don't know, man. Here's my thing. So first of all, I'm a huge Ray Phoenix fan. I'm a huge Penta fan. My thing with, like, we don't know the story. We don't know what it is that Ray Phoenix talked about. Not wanting to stay at a place where you're not treated humanely. Not being treated humanely is a weird sentence, because inhumane treatment is what happens to prisoners of war. It's not what happens to contracted athletes who got paid to sit at home. That's not inhumane treatment. So I think there might be a misunderstanding of what inhumane treatment is amongst professional wrestlers and the fan base. Because a job paying you to not work is not inhumane treatment. Someone strapping you down to a board and ripping your fingernails off, that's inhumane treatment. Like, I think someone might be a little bit dramatic thinking they were treated inhumanely in AEW. But hey.
I think he meant something else, but he just probably put it the wrong way he felt what it was. Wrong definition of word.
People like to be dramatic about that.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. He signed a contract. That contract stated they could add time to his contract if he were to be injured and not be able to perform, but they would still pay him while he was hurt. Now, everyone remembers Bret Hart's Wrestling with Shadows VHS tape, where he talked about where he would be hurt, not get paid, he work hurt because you got to get paid. Well, that's not the contracts AEW gives their talent. If you get hurt, they still pay you. You get to get healthy and recover, and they can add that injury time to the end of your contract and keep you.
True.
I don't understand how that's a bad thing. And I get, hey, people are weird. Like, people get really upset that AEW is not using Ricky Starks and feel like he's being punished for going on and doing an interview with Chris Van Fleet saying, things about AEW. Wow, that's crazy. A company that employs you and pays you doesn't want you to badmouth them. That's crazy. That sounds like every job anyone's ever had at all, ever.
You know what it is? I think I know what it is. I think, this is me, these contracts, people just read the contract, but then there's always that little ink that people don't read the little fine print in the contract. And then when they get to that contract, some people think that, say, hey, I don't want to be here, just give me up the contract. Most people probably think that they'll let the person will let them go, but in reality, you locked in that contract for what, 3-5 years. So
if you're signing a contract for $100,000, $200,000, whatever it might be, and you're not reading it fully, I mean, that's on you. But you know what it is to be an independent contractor and be a pro wrestler. I don't think that they should be classified as independent contractors, because independent contractors get to go work anywhere. That's what an independent contractor is. They don't have to get permission, but also independent contractors only get paid while they're working. So if you're missing shows or you're hurt, they don't pay you. Like, GCW is not paying someone who's not wrestling on the GCW card. They're not doing that. Your local, whatever it is, your local wrestling promotion isn't paying someone this month who's not going to be there, but they were there 2 months ago. Like, they're not giving them another $5 and a hot dog. They're not doing it. So, like I don't know. I often feel like a lot of the pro wrestling fan base who gets really up in arms about wrestlers getting paid to sit at home and they should be allowed to badmouth the company and do it, have never had an actual job. Because whenever you worked at Target, you couldn't have passed out flyers to customers talking about how much Target sucks and kept your job. They would have fired you.
No. I wouldn't get fired. I would have been, what they call it, 6 months probation.
Yeah, there would have been repercussions for your actions. All right, you wouldn't have been able to just do that and no one do anything. But for some reason, wrestling fans think wrestlers who are getting paid to sit at home should be able to talk about their boss negatively and the company negatively, just because. If someone under an AEW contract or any wrestling company's contract was being paid to sit at home and didn't want to be paid to sit at home, they could get a lawyer and sue their employer who's holding them with that contract and work to get out of said contract from a legal standpoint. I don't know of a single pro wrestler who's ever tried to do it. What happens? They sit at home, they tweet, they do a little podcast here and there. Well, I don't know why they won't let me wrestle. Why aren't you trying to get out of the contract? Why aren't you trying to get out of guaranteed money? Why aren't you taking the paycheck that's being sent to you, that's being put in your account every week? Don't spend any of it. Save it all. Get a lawyer. Go to court and say, I have all the money you've paid me over these last 6 months. I will give it back to you. Let me out of my contract so I can go wrestle for $15 and a hot dog. There's an armory somewhere that wants to see me do a clothesline. None of these guys do it. If my employer said, hey, listen, you ain't got to do nothing. We're going to pay you. Cool. Give me my check. Give me my check.
I can say this.
Yeah, so Panther says the only thing close to the scenario I'm giving is CM Punk wanting to be out in 2015. And yeah, Yeah, you know what, man? Punk was like, I want to go. Let me go. I'm leaving. Let me get fired. He didn't want to be there, and he left. That's the beautiful thing about employment in America. If you don't want to be there, you can leave. You just got to find a way. If you signed a contract saying you wouldn't, or it would cost you this much money, I mean, none of these guys are working on breaching their contract. They could breach a contract. You can do it. If you really want it out, man, if Ricky Starks really wanted out of that AEW contract, he really, really wanted to work. When Tony Khan said you can't do that GCW show, he would have done it anyway. Get fired. But he doesn't want to because Tony Khan wouldn't fire him. Tony Khan would sue it because Ricky Starks knows the contract he signed. Why did he sign it? Why did he do it?
Because we probably had his lawyer go over it, and the lawyer probably said, all this stuff is legit. You're good. This contract is perfectly fine. But then I guess maybe lawyer probably missed something or didn't tell him about, there's this one little thing you cannot do. And that's where it gets tricky in the contracts.
I'm going to take a stab at it. I'm going to take a guess as to why he signed that contract. He signed that contract because nobody else was offering to pay him. And AEW gave him a platform and an opportunity to build his skill set and become what he thinks is a star. So now he believes the hype that AEW created around him. Because let's face it, when Ricky Starks was wrestling on the NWA YouTube show, there wasn't nobody wanting to buy a Ricky Starks shirt. Nobody was talking about how great Ricky Starks is because people weren't seeing it. AEW gave him a platform to show what he could do. Paid him good money to do it. Now he thinks there's an opportunity to go be something somewhere else. Or allegedly. Maybe not. Maybe he just wants to work in AEW. And they just don't have anything for him to create. Or they're mad at him for saying negative shit. Or for, arguing with fans online. You're like, he should be allowed to do whatever he wants. Not if it's in his contract that he shouldn't. Or people should also be aware of how things make them look to their employer. Maybe you don't want to look bad. Maybe that's a good idea, right?
Yeah, good idea.
If you see other people be punished for similar behavior, why would you then do the same behavior?
No.
Right? Yeah, it could be a work. They get a more intense version of MJF. I think it absolutely could be. It's wrestling.
Yeah.
It can always be a work because in that Chris Van Fleet interview, Ricky didn't say anything directly I think I'd be anything direct. He keeps showing up these GCW shows and he can't show up. They could be accidentally building something for a story, which is cool. Sometimes art imitates life, and sometimes life imitates art. I just think it's weird, the pro wrestling fan behavior around it. It's just strange.
So what if they're making him the Brian Pillman of 2024?
Letting him show up places and he's the loose cannon character. Man, that's a great idea, Joe. I never really thought of the idea of Ricky Starks as the loose cannon. He's showing up at other promotions, doing whatever he wants.
And just trying to get fired from one job, and then you sneaky. Yeah.
Man, Joe, that's a possibility. That's absolutely a possibility. And it would be pretty darn interesting, to be honest.
I'm just saying, he's trying to quit. He did on live television. Well, not actually live television, but on the internet. Said some things. He could be the Brian Pillman 2024. A
public firing is a way to grab attention for AEW. They did it with Punk. They got a lot of attention there. Yeah, Panther said it best. Controversy creates cash. It could be an angle. It'd be a great work if it is one. I kind of hope that's the case. Because what better work than whenever you work everybody? I mean, hell, Bret Hart worked everybody with the whole Montreal screw job. People still think that was legit, and I know for sure that was a work. Let's try to wrap this. Let's wrap up the week with talking SmackDown, Joe.
SmackDown.
SmackDown was confusing. So our friends over at Rate My Wrestling gave SmackDown an overall rating of a 71. Oh, sorry, 77.
Okay.
77.
Okay. This is why Okay, like I had to explain to you what was going on. So they doing this like I'm just gonna say it's like a pre-draft. So they having everybody from NXT, Raw, SmackDown invade shows. So they call it something else. I call it a pre-draft. So you're looking at
They called it a trade window.
Yeah. So
I was so confused, bro.
That's why that's why I said look at it as a pre-draft. Pre-draft. So
yeah, I got home and turned SmackDown on. I didn't catch it from the beginning, and I seen Gunther, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I had to text Joe. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. Why is Cody going to face Chad Gable? Like, what is happening? They did not explain that shit well at all. I was confused.
That's why I just said look at it as a pre-draft. So that's what's going on. Raw, SmackDown, NXT. They having certain stars show up on certain shows and then see who they want.
I guess, man.
Look at it this way. Gunther could take the World Heavyweight Championship to SmackDown, and Cody take the Undisputed to Raw.
So I'll tell you what, man. I like the idea of them flipping. It seems that like a Raw one. I mean, yeah, they want everybody on Raw. You know, there was once upon a time where Raw was the A show and SmackDown was the B show, and Paul Heyman got control of SmackDown and had the SmackDown 6. And we got comments coming in that they think if it's done correctly, we can get a switch of talent and we have certain shows could be beneficial. I think so. I think Gunther as world champion on SmackDown fits.
Yeah,
I think SmackDown is the pro wrestling show and Raw is your sports entertainment show. I think that works very well.
You know what I would do? This is what I would do. I would switch. This is what I do. I'll put the World Heavyweight and Intercontinental on SmackDown and Undisputed in US on Raw. Because if you look at all those titles, they go together and they fit perfectly just like that.
I mean, yeah, the World and Intercontinental make sense together.
And the World Tag Team.
Yeah. I absolutely like the idea of switching the leaders of the pack of the shows. I think that's a good idea. I think instead of doing a draft, open it up to be like, hey, you know what? We can trade. I can, hey, you want Cody? Okay, for you to get Cody, I need Gunther and so-and-so. I don't see why that doesn't work. Beats out the draft, I think. Or, I mean, the draft could still happen.
I think they still plan on doing the draft, but it's a toss-up.
Yeah, but I kind of like the trade window a bit better.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of Gunther being on SmackDown. I think that's a healthy idea. Like I said, SmackDown was given an overall show rating of 77. I thought Cody versus Gable was a really good match.
Good.
I thought it worked well together. I think KO coming out at the end was kind of comical, really. I like that. Anything stand out to you on SmackDown as being good? I mean, they're just kind of building things up for Saturday night's main event. So,
okay. And the best thing I saw good on SmackDown was the heel turning DIY.
yeah, DIY turning heel as a unit kind of shocked me.
Yeah.
I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting us to see heel Ciampa and heel Gargano.
When I seen that, I like, oh, they about to fight at the next whatever pay-per-view, but then he did the low blow. Oh, I like, oh, then he did that horrendous little laugh, but it wasn't that great. But he tried. He tried, y'all. He tried.
I think it'll be good for us to get a good run from DIY, so that way whenever we have the breakup, it'll matter.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's crazy that we already took the titles off of Motor City Machine Guns. But hey,
I think
that gets expected, right?
I think they got something better for them. They got something good going for them.
I don't know. I think they'll just hot potato the tag titles around quite a bit, which is fine. You can do that with tag titles. Doesn't need to be there's two tag teams that get long title runs. That's the New Day and that's the Usos. Everybody else can just pass those tag belts around. It's not a big deal.
I can go,
Yeah, a heel DIY is going to be perfect. I like a heel DIY because I think both of those guys make good heels. I think Ciampa's a better heel. I think Gargano
way better heel.
But Gargano, it's part of the way, was a good chicken shit heel. He did good in that role.
He did. I said it. Then the way he did it just made you look like shocked, like, oh, this dude a heel now. Okay, he's a heel. He turned away the baby face, and I bet you he probably the one that took out the Street Profits, helped take them out. Yeah.
Yeah. Up next, we had AEW's Collision last night. Overall show rating was a 74. It came from they did it at GalaxyCon in Columbus, Ohio. They switched arenas. They went to a smaller venue, smaller crowd. Man, Collision delivered. Did you catch Collision at all last night?
I did collect Collision. I did.
What'd you think of the show?
I just want to know when is somebody going to take out that girl in the Dark Rider. That's all I want to know. Death Rider. When's somebody going to take her out? When's somebody going to hit her? I just want somebody to hit her. That's all I want.
I thought they would have Jay White be the guy to do it.
I thought he was about to do it too. But
Jay White could get away with it. It'd be perfect heat for Jay White. Man, I thought the smaller venue, the smaller crowd, everything felt more.
I said it felt perfect because if you look at the arena, it was at, it looked like they're all on two floors. We'll say two floors.
It was like a flat with slightly up. I don't know what the occupancy is of that place they were at. But, man, I just thought it delivered. Starting off with Darby and Komander, great match to start the show with. It was definitely set up to have, just a lot of good in-ring action. You had Mark Briscoe versus Daniel Garcia in the Blue League. You had...
Okay, wait. About this league. How is it that they got 1 point? That's part that got me confused about the 1 point.
I don't remember how. I know you get 3 points for a victory.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember what the points breakdown is.
Okay. But I seen him he got 1 point, and then somebody had 4. I'm like, what am I missing here? Like, how you get the 4 and 1 in there when it could be 3?
Oh, we got some comments coming from Panther that a triple threat match with the Street Profits, the Motor City Machine Guns, and DIY would be good. Be great if they did an Ultimate X style match. That would be cool.
The Ultimate X is crazy.
That would be cool. I don't know how the. Let's take a look. Let's see. AEW.
Because I'm like, what? How Danny Garcia got 1 point? 1 point.
Let's see, it just gives me a breakdown of how points are collected. So you get 3 points for a win.
Oh, they had a draw last week. Okay.
I think a draw is 1 point.
Okay. Hey, I'm just saying, y'all. Just kind of when I looked at the scoreboard, I was like, that was confusing last night. Like, what I miss here?
Yes. So you get a winner gets 3 points. Draws result in 1 point for each participant.
Okay.
Yeah. So Danny Garcia and Okada had draws last week, and then last night we got Kyle Fletcher versus Okada, which is what I thought was going to be what we were going to work toward. Ended up being in the finals when they first announced the Continental Classic, and then we just got it last night on Collision.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that match?
It could have been better. It really could have been better.
Really?
It was good, but it could have been better. I would say towards the middle section, it kind of died down, and they were just in there, just hitting each other. Then he did the no sell to the Rainmaker. Boom, got right back up.
Yeah, about that.
Go ahead.
You know, I don't know. I don't know who makes those decisions in AEW. I don't know why we see so much no selling of things that should definitely be sold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like on Dynamite, Mox, he got put in the switchblade and just jumped right back up out of it. Walk out the ring.
Yeah. Man, I'm an Okada fan. Have been for a long time. I don't think anyone gets a no-sell the Rainmaker. I just don't think that's what you should do. Okada's style, generally it's a start slow, work your way up to a quicker pace throughout the match. That's an Okada style match. So I think they did a lot of good things of having Kyle Fletcher work a headlock for a long time, to keep Okada from building up a momentum. But at the end of the day, that's Okada.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta kind of sell for Okada. If you were gonna have Kyle Fletcher look strong in a match this week, it probably would have been better suited for him to look stronger against Shelton Benjamin than to have him no-sell the Rainmaker.
Yeah. I just seen it. I'm like, okay, boom, Rainmaker. I'm like, okay, it's over. 2. I'm like, 2. Whoa. I'm like, okay.
Do you think the push for Kyle Fletcher is working? Do you think it's paced correctly? What do you think? And anyone in the comments, what do you guys think? Kyle Fletcher's push, good? Bad? Wait to see? Feeling it out? What do you think?
I think it's good. It's good. You got your Eric Cocky Hill coming up strong.
He feels like a young Randy Orton, man.
Yeah, like a young Randy Orton cocky coming up. And that's why I see a cocky Randy Orton when he first started, then turned into the legend killer. Well, Evolution. He went to Evolution being cocky. So,
I wish there was an avenue for Kyle Fletcher to operate like a legend killer in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I think that avenue is there with Okada. You already had him beat him clean once. I don't know how we circle this back and have him like decide to take Okada out. So then we can bring Okada back after some time and kind of fix the damage done to Okada in AEW. We could bring him back and have him be the Rainmaker if we have Kyle Fletcher take him out. I think it'd be a good avenue for Kyle Fletcher to be the guy to take Chris Jericho off TV.
Mm-hmm.
That could be his first victim. How do you get there? Because I don't think you have Kyle Fletcher work a program with Chris Jericho. Because Chris Jericho programs are like the kiss of death. They kill a push in AEW somehow. If he just
I could say this.
came out during a segment and just destroyed it. Don Callis has unfinished business with Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, just have Kyle Fletcher take Chris Jericho off TV. No story, no build, no nothing. Just Kyle Fletcher's sick of hearing Chris Jericho, so he takes him out. Stabs his eyeball out with that screwdriver or something.
I can say this. This tournament, I think the final two are going to be Kyle Fletcher and Cardios.
Oh, man, that'd be a good final matchup.
I think they're going to be the final two, and
Audio versus Kyle Fletcher. I could see that.
And I don't know if Okada loses the belt if them two make it to the finals. I don't know how that works, but
I think it's if Okada. I think it's if Okada doesn't get there, he just doesn't get the title.
Oh. Well, yeah. Now I'll say it's gonna be the last two, the final two. This is my pick for the final two.
Yeah, I agree. We got comments coming in. They don't want to see Kyle Fletcher be another Brian Cage, come in hot and then drop the ball with him. I agree. I don't think they will fumble the bag with Kyle Fletcher like they have with others. I don't know how you don't book Brian Cage effectively in AEW. I don't know how that's been so bad. I mean, people say he's not a great promo, and I don't know because we haven't seen him really cut a promo in AEW. Like Brian Cage hasn't really been given anything substantial in AEW. I think, and there were opportunities. I mean, he was part of Sting's return match.
He was.
There's things they could have done with Brian Cage, and there's things that kind of started to take off a little bit. Him and Big Bill was okay. Him and Ricky Starks were, I think there were just things that could have been done with the, OG Team Taz was okay. Worst part of OG Team Taz was Taz. But I don't know. I think Kyle Fletcher is just going to be a very good star for AEW. Promos are a little rough at times, but I just don't. He's just young. You know what I mean? I think it's just
his promo skills is like I said. It's like he's the cocky Randy Orton when he first started.
Yeah. It's good to put him with Don Callis because, I mean, it's easy to hate anyone affiliated with Don Callis, especially for me.
I'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and Brian Cage is not on TV enough, and they don't let Brian Cage wrestle a Brian Cage match. I mean, Brian Cage can do a luchador match, and he's a body guy, so that's kind of crazy. Joe, it's that time, man.
All right.
What's your match of the week? What's your wrestler of the week? What's your show of the week?
Okay. I'm going to start off right now. The rest of the week. I'm going with Mr. Cocky, Kyle Fletcher.
Ding, ding, ding. That's two. We both. Kyle Fletcher's also my wrestler of the week. If that foreshadowing wasn't already there.
I'm just saying, after the last night, seeing him do two heelish moves, winning, sneaking, cheating, that's why I say he's going to be in that bottom. He's going to cheat to win to get that belt, y'all. So I'm just
Hell
going
yeah,
out there
he
right
is.
now. All right. Now, as for the match.
Gary Fox, thank you for checking us out live on Instagram.
Now, as for the match.
FC.
I was hoping it would be like Kyle and Shelton. But I'm going to say Jay White and Pac put on a better match than them two did.
Yeah, Jay White and Pac was a good match. Very good match.
Yeah. And that's for the show. I picked Raw for my show, y'all, because
Really?
the reason why I picked Raw for my show is because all the segments of the show from start to finish, it was shocking, like shocked. You would think something was going to happen if you predict it was going to happen, but then it didn't. The whole show did a 360 on everything, especially with
Joe,
the New Day.
This has never happened before on Don't Say the F Word.
Okay.
We agree on everything. Same show of the week, same match of the week, same wrestler of the week. This has never happened. It's unprecedented.
Right.
Unprecedented. And I don't even know what to even do. Just so everyone knows, anyone new to the live show, me and Joe don't really talk these things out before the show takes place. We know what we have. We don't tell each other. So whenever we do the show, that's whenever that shit comes out. Man, that's a first. That's absolutely a first.
Yeah, I had my money
Who's
on
checking us out?
Shelton. Like I had my money on Shelton and Kyle, but then it was the Jay White and Pac. It took over. That match took over the night for me.
It did. The Jay White Pac, it was really, it was done well. It was just done very well.
And as for Raw, like that whole show just did the whole 360, just made you feel like okay, y'all making me think, oh, the New Day, they're gonna stick together. Kick out Big E. Oh
Yeah.
Oh, Punk and Seth, they ain't gonna fight. They're just gonna talk it out and just walk away. Oh, they fought. And then I would say the best, the New Day, that really took it like a whole nother level.
So you know what? Watching the New Day segment live, it evoked the emotion it was supposed to. Looking back on it, trying to make it make sense, is where it screwed it up for me. Trying to analyze it, it actually wasn't a good segment on second, third watch. I was like, yeah, actually, you know what? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But
then
the live viewing of it is what I go off of for rating the show. And Raw was the show. Raw was the show. Now, I'm a little rough trying to convince me CM Punk's going to get into a fist fight with somebody who's not 130 pounds like Jungle Boy. So a little hard to sell me on that on repeat, but I wasn't expecting it to happen, so that was pretty effective. But man, that's crazy. We've never had total agreements. That's great. Everyone, thank you for checking us out live on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Thank you for checking us out. Don't forget, go check out Gordito Soy 89 on Whatnot. Our boy Freddie from Fat Ink, Ohio. Yeah. So Downtown Championship Wrestling. I said they should have a Lake Erie Snow Fort match. Go check out Downtown Championship Wrestling, Cleveland's own. Anyone need tattoos, go hit up Freddie, Fat Ink, Ohio. Anyone need to know what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw? Tune in tomorrow live on Instagram, probably right around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Just make sure you're following us. Click the notifications. That way you can get reminded when we go live. YouTube, Spotify, if you guys are checking us out, that means I remember to edit and upload this shit. So, hey, thank you for being here. That doesn't happen all the time. I forget stuff. If you want to make sure you don't miss Don't Say the F Word, make sure you follow us on Instagram. Everyone's got Instagram. It's right in your pocket. Don't miss a thing. All of our updates, all of our posts, all of our ratings come from Rate My Wrestling. They break down every show, give us a rating, and we see if we agree with them. We're not always all on the same page. Make sure you go check those guys out. Joe, anything else for the love of the people out there today?
Yes, one more thing. If Panther is still in the building, my kid's not fully wrestled yet, so you still got time to get prepared, okay? So get prepared for that. And
Does you know Joe's daughter is signed up for wrestling? She's 6 years old. Her goal is to take out every one of the F heads in the F head nation.
Okay.
She's coming for our fan base, and then apparently I'm the final boss.
You're the final boss. Yeah.
Final boss.
And last but not least, on the since we going to the end of the year, y'all, So I believe 28th is the Sunday of the last month. So on that Sunday, there will be no wrestler of the week. There'll be nothing. We are going to analyze these 2 people who we pick as the wrestler of the year.
Yeah, so
this one.
we got the Markies coming up, giving out our Marquee Awards. Wrestlers of the Year, Match of the Year.
And I ain't going to do the show because that's too many things to worry about, but that's too much to ask. So that's it. 2 wrestling stars, 2 matches. That's it.
There you go. Hey, Joe, just so you know, your daughter might get a chance at the Downtown Championship World title. They're putting it out there, DCW World Championship match for her.
Okay. They got.
There you go. She might be able to be a world champion soon.
I can do that for y'all.
Get that amateur title under her belt, and then she can move on to the pros.
There you go.
Get her wrestling in downtown Cleveland. Sell it out.
I can do that.
Everyone, thank you for spending a little bit of your Sunday with us. We will be back tomorrow. We'll preview Raw, look to see what they have out there, make some predictions, throw the dice, and we will, of course, play for When the Bell Tolls, which is our weekly Monday game where we guess when the bell will ring to start the first match on Raw. If you get the time right, some swag will come your way. If Joe gets the time right, he will get all of his product that has been sent to me from some of our sponsors and some of his Don't Say the F Word gear. And if my wife gets the time right, everyone watching the live show who plays the game gets something. So I guess at the end of the day, we all want Mindy to get it right because then everyone gets prizes. I don't want her to get it right because then I got to mail out a lot of shit. But if my wife Mindy is correct on the first bell ringing for Monday Night Raw, everyone who plays the game will win something. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, turn on those notifications, check us out live on Instagram. Thank you again for spending time with Don't Say the F Word. We're a pro wrestling and combat sports podcast. We do not use the F word when we talk about professional wrestling. Don't let your friends use it either. We're out.